Hi everyone, my name is Monica Kayesu. I'm back again, and it's been like 2 weeks. I haven't done any video, but nevertheless. Um, so today, what I want to talk about is rights, or you can term them as human rights, as basically human rights. So there's something that has been going on, and maybe much of our society or the human right activists never talk about, is that every right has a duty to it. So in other words, there's a duty you ought to perform. And when I'm talking about a duty is if you are, it's your right to eat food, it's your right to go to school. Yes, the good example is it's your right to go to school. But when you go to school, it's your duty to stay in school and study hard and actually perform, so that whoever paid school fees for you, his or her money does not go to a waste. So now this is where I get problems with what is happening around. There are so many human rights activists, and please don't get me wrong that I'm against human rights. No, human rights is a fundamental need to every society, to everyone. Everyone deserves a right. Everyone, this talk about for example, the basic rights of a human being: food, shelter. The education is also a fundamental right. Medication, etc., name it. But what human rights activists have totally forgotten about is that every right has a responsibility, has a duty to it. Like there's something you must perform to that right for your right not to be taken away, for your right not to be abused or interfered. I think the right word is not to be interfered. And every time you don't perform a duty to a particular set of rights or right, it's as good as you abusing your own rights. You know, now you take it or you don't agree, but this is what it is. For example, everyone has a right of speech, but how are you using your speech? You have a duty to speak rightly, to speak respectfully, to not to abuse anyone as you're exercising your right. For another good example is that's your right. You have a duty to perform while exercising your right. For example, you cannot use your rights to abuse somebody else's right and you think it's going to go well with you. There is a duty you have to. So as you exercise your rights, dear friends out there, remember there are also people whose rights are as fundamental, as essential as your own right. So remember, your rights should not abuse anyone's right. So you have a duty not to abuse somebody's right. You have a duty to exercise your rights respectfully, honorably, and as a good citizen in whichever country you're in whichever country you're from. You should be a law-binding citizen of all the laws, of all the sets of laws, because those are some of the laws which actually provide your rights. So, and what here, please, what I'm trying to say is not that a right is a privilege given. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to say that a right can be given to you and taken away from you. No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm trying to emphasize is every right has a duty to it. So as you're exercising your right, do not forget to perform the duty which is attached to that particular right. Because every time you forget about your duty or you do not perform a duty, it's as good as denying yourself that right or actually abusing it yourself. Because you are not going to start insulting everyone because you have a right of speech. You are not going to build in somebody's property because you have a right to shelter. You are not going to refuse to pay bills in a private hospital because you have a right to medical attention. You are not going to scream for your neighbors because you have a right of speech. No, you have a duty to respect. Remember, there are also other people or other citizens who are just about your neighbors, or who are about in the same proximity, who are probably exercising the same right. So let your right not abuse somebody's right. And if that is done, so please, human rights activists, as you're trying to tell people about their rights, please and please kindly remind them that there is a duty on every right given, or on every right they can they can demand from the state, they can demand from whoever is trying to hold their right. Teach them the responsibility, teach them the duty, because there is a duty you ought to perform in order to enjoy your rights. Absolutely. Otherwise, you will not. You're going to crash with the state, you're going to crash with your neighbors, you're going to crash with the society. And also remember, as you're performing your rights in a particular society you are in, there are those ground norms that have been running in that society like for centuries, like forever. So just because of your same right, don't abuse the ground norms in a particular society, especially if they are not dehumanizing, if they are not abusing your personal development, if they are not abusing your well-being. Please just be a law-abiding citizen, and trust me, the state, the people, the neighbor, they will allow you to exercise your rights. But as long as you're not respecting everyone else, trust me, there's no way yours is going to be respected. So that's where the clash will be. Thank you very much, and I hope to release another video very soon. God bless.